Khubor ka Batisi TV. Lawan Rashapi da ka Frank Motors. The dark is here to rule.
Ka IZ Group of Institution Bangalore, Kadai ka College Babatam na banta ka Jingpuli Nursing, but Paramedical Course, Hospital Training, Knio Scholarship but 6% ka kam, Haki Hospital Bahedo ha India but Shabari. Na banta ka Jingpuli, ka Jingsiyo ka Baret, but Pila Banlet Puli, da ka Education Loan, Pila Ruban Chukol hau number, Kandai Nyo Sao Sao, San Rio Pranon, Lani, Kandai Pran Rio Laisan, Pan Riway Kandai Pran.
Kementeri Sorkar ke kong Ampareen dingdo kala Khot Ïakren Sngewbha Ardent mele besoy mai bar kala karpa ju bun sange no ya jing shat ngan ke kong Ampareen kala ong bala rawan chakmi jing Ïakren kan Sngewbha ke ege jing kwa uba Ardent bar hadien bala Sngewbha ya jing kwa on saya Ïakren Sngewbha.
I just request the Honourable Legislator for Ardent, Masayamot, representing the Voice of the People Party, please come to the negotiation table. Let us discuss this matter. Bring me what you want us to get done. I cannot promise Baba Sayamoy that yes, whatever he says will get done, because I first have to understand what he wants. And I feel that if he stops this strike, this hunger strike, I think it will be good for everyone, and we can also therefore get together and discuss this matter and see how best we can get beyond this without harming any one of the communities, because we are Meghalaya. You know, there are 3 communities in this state. We would like to safeguard everybody's interests. Please, Ardent, come to the table. Let's talk. I'm very concerned about the health of Ardent, so I'm of the mind that I should actually go and find out how he's doing, though I've been asking the doctors to keep me posted about his well-being. He's a member of the Legislative Assembly. We cannot afford to see one of our colleagues go through this, and I really do not want to talk about his agenda, because I really have not seen a copy of this agenda. So firstly, I'm concerned about Ardent's well-being, and therefore I am very tempted to go and see him and to find out how he's doing, because this is the 3rd day that he is in a strike, which very unfortunately has happened. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, we will be having a meeting of the committee. It's just that few things are still being looked into. Before you call for a committee meeting, you have to make sure that you yourself, you're conversant about the entire detail of what is being proposed to be undertaken. So you will have to give me some more time, but definitely we will again extend an invitation to political parties and other stakeholders to discuss this matter at the earliest. It cannot be left pending like this. We are familiar with the difficulties that a situation like this can fall out to be. Meghalaya is a state known for its peace, for the coexistence of so many communities. We work together, we talk together. We don't want this to ever change. And unfortunately, the roster is something which we will have to discuss together. And that is why the Honorable Chief Minister has himself invited all concerned to a meeting. Now, why Ardent did not attend that meeting is something which is still unclear to me to say. We need to be on the same page. Definitions of review. You have to define what do you mean by review. The very fact that we've had a consultation with political parties not very long ago is an indicator that we are asking political parties for their opinions. What is it that they think? What is it that what is it that should change? Whether these proposals are feasible? Are they going to be fair? Are they going to be acceptable by all? It's a very, very crazy situation, and we do not want to provoke this situation to deteriorate further. So like any government, we are just watching, waiting for these communications to be clearer before we can even decide what is the crux of this matter. Because nothing in writing has ever come to the government till today. We don't even know what we're talking about. So unless somebody makes that move to communicate, the very fact that a roster of a reservation policy which has not been in position is now being discussed. That is discussion of the reservation policy. What are the other terms of references of this so-called requirement for this kind of a fallout, which I feel will not be productive for anyone in the long run? My appeal once again is, kindly tell us, what is your proposal? We cannot take a decision on anything because we are not even aware of the definition of a review of the reservation policy. If at all a policy has to be reviewed, there has to be a mandate, there has to be a reason. And as of today, the only reason being put forward to our government is to make sure that the reservation policy has a guideline which is a roster. You may agree with the roster, you may disagree with the roster proposal. But if you do not communicate in black and white what you want to say, it's very difficult for us to know what do you want us to do. But we would like to see this problem getting sorted out. We have to be on a common page. We all have to remember that this is in the common interest of all communities living within the state of Meghalaya. And if I can be that one element of change, I will be very happy to do it. Once I meet up with Ardent, then maybe I'll be able to understand what exactly he wants. Because I have not yet seen copies of any proposal that are being discussed by Ardent. And I am not privy to any of the discussions that he has held either. So on this matter, unfortunately it is happening, and government is not silent. Government is just trying to get a hand as to what is the best way forward. If you have to take all communities on board on this matter, we have to do it jointly. We cannot have decisions in isolation. Isolated decisions is what will bring the wedge, the friction, and we don't want that to happen. So please give the government some time. We are ourselves trying to understand and take control of what are these dynamics that are being discussed. Because if you say population, it could mean so many things. We don't know what exactly is being discussed. Because if you see the state economic statistics, then again that population also will have its own indicators. What exactly are we talking about? This is very, very important, and we should be on the same page. So not wanting to preempt and what likely is being said, I will await for this information before I comment further on it. But I so want this to end, and I am not happy, and we are very upset, and I wish there were easy solutions, but it is not easy, because one cannot say, I mean, will a meeting, impromptu meeting, result positively, or will it again create wedges? Will it again? So this is a very strange situation to be in, and I'm very concerned about the welfare of our dear colleague in the assembly, and I'm tempted, I repeat, that I should go and see him and see that he is physically fit. Though doctors are there attending to him round the clock, I do not think that this is something that anybody can ignore, and so do not presume that we are ignoring it. We are likely waiting for a confirmation of the stakeholders meeting first, because over and above political parties that have already met with the Honorable Chief Minister, there is also a proposal for stakeholders to also meet with the Honorable Chief Minister. So in all likelihood, it would be practical for this committee to meet post that meeting. So please give the government some time, but in the meanwhile, I feel that I have to go and find out whether my colleague is white. That is what I'm trying to tell you. If somebody doesn't give us a written document, then it becomes difficult for us to even decide. Call on what basis? Where is the proposal? What is the proposal? Does anybody have an idea? Or are we just looking at this proposal on a media coverage in bits and pieces, whereas we don't understand what is being asked? So how do you base calling? On what? On what? How do you base that? That is very important. And right now, finding it very difficult to take a call. But some letters, some documentation, please pass it along. Since I have been named as a chairperson of the next committee sitting, then somebody should at least send me a copy. I don't know what is being discussed. And how can I even comment on my approach when I don't even know what has been said? So we are just reviewing this whole thing. Let us first understand every dynamic of the so-called proposed roster. We ourselves are trying to understand it. I reiterate, I'm very saddened and I'm very, very pained that my colleague continues in his fast.